In these final days of Advent, it is time to carve away all those things that keep us from receiving Jesus. In the words of John the Baptist, make straight the way of the Lord. In today's gospel, you can almost kind of hear the thud of the mic drop when Jesus responds to the chief priests and the elders. They challenge him, and they ask him about the source of his authority. And yet, as the religious leaders of the people, they, most of all, should have known who Jesus was. They witnessed him bringing healing to the sick. They heard him bring hope to the poor. And they were there when Jesus spread the message of God's open, loving kingdom. So who were they to ask him by what authority he did these things? Because these were the signs of God's very presence on our earth. Furthermore, in response, Jesus asked them a question, and it exposes their hypocrisy. Because they cannot answer to him whether John's baptism was divine or human in origin. And they refused to answer. It's not because they didn't know, but because they couldn't respond or admit this in front of others. They could not explain to the people why they themselves did not follow John into the river and towards a baptism of repentance. But we have. Each of us Christians watching this video today, each of us have experienced a new life in baptism. At one point, mostly when we were younger, possibly if we're adult converts later in life. But at one point, we have worn that white gown or that white suit, and a priest or a deacon prayed over us that when we left this world, that we'd leave this white gown unsullied by sin. But if today you look down and you see that your white gown, I guess at this point your metaphorical white gown, but if you look down and see that the white is a little muddy or a little faded, and it is for all of us, then we are blessed by this time because Advent is our time to return to Jesus and to that new life that he gives us. And so in these final days of Advent, it is indeed time for us to strip away all those things that keep us from being close and from receiving Jesus. My family, it is time for us to make straight our lives for the Lord.